Blimey. It's all a bit exciting and dangerous out there, isn't it? So much so that the radio crew have decided that they're going to follow brave Silverwing and run away and hide. So they've all gone to the Mirrorverse. The only problem is that it seems to have affected them like they've been in a transporter accident or something. Nothing is as it should be, and their personalities seem to have done some flipping of their own. Flossy is striding about the studio swinging a battle axe instead of a pan. Chicks has grown a huge beard, but shaved off the rest of his bodily hair, including his moustache. Mia's refusing to apologize for anything, even though that mess in the corner is clearly her fault. Amelia's taken up knitting and appears to have developed an allergy to just about everything. And tonight's host has come back from the dead. Wait, he's about to speak.
Our mics are live! Good evening and welcome to Studio 1 at Hutton Orbital. At the behest of our overlord Alvin, who likes nothing more than chasing fluffy mice and pushing things off the sideboard with a look of disdain on his face, this is Hutton Orbital Live. I'm Baldy Nutsack, and this week we'll be reporting on the news coming from the live universe, from here in the Mirrorverse, as there aren't any Thargoids bothering us here.
Oh, that's a pity. They're so friendly normally. I'm Charity Hug, and I'm afraid I can't sit near you. I'm allergic to nuts.
He's no apologising, and neither am I. Tough. Here, have an EpiPen. I'm the recriminations officer. You know what you did, and I know what you did.
Oi, Savoy. Anyone seen my beard comb? Got crumbs in it. I'm Alden McGroin.
And I'm Teensy Frontage. And I'm security tonight. Now get off my chair. What I told you about that chair? It's my chair.
Teensy, please put down the electric bullwhip. You can use the stun gun later. But for now, we better look at what kind of a mess the other galaxy is in this week.
She can come and have a go if she thinks it's hard enough. I'm not moving.
Okay, that's it. Pan for you. I could be out there blowing things up, you know, or stealing from passing cargo ships. But no.
Let me hold your coat and check the pockets for cash.
Okay. Anyone got a med kit? Big green noxious cloud brings stations offline.
Skullduggery afoot as someone interferes in factions.
Mugs? They're still delivering mugs? How quaint.
P-Waff goes splat.
Get rich quick, as Vista Genomics misses the point.
It's all a flaming mess over there. Wouldn't you rather be here?
First this evening, we bring you news from the other galaxy. The one with the incoming super swirly speedy suddenly stopping space Stargoid things. Well, one of them stopped, then flatulated loudly, which destroyed a few stations. Yes, there's a big green cloud out there in space labelled Tyrannus, and pilots have scrambled to work out who is responsible for the almighty stench and the skid marks left on the galaxy map. There are reports that Thargoids are attempting to escape the big cloud by docking at nearby starports, and when refused docking, attempting to carve them open to hide within. They've also developed a new strategy. Not content with grabbing passing ships as they jump between systems and ambush them, They've taken to following them in supercruise and using technology copied from old whaling ships, harpoon them, drag them out of supercruise, and yell the Thargoid equivalent of "whoever smelt it, dealt it." Which, of course, in Thargoid causes your ship's computer to shut down in panic and potentially void atmosphere in the cockpit in case of caustic clouds. There are rumours that shipboard systems are listing a mysterious caustic sink in the synthesis panel, but at this stage we believe that's the blueprint for Floor Mapping Guy's plan of attack for Cubicle 3 and involves dynamite, acid, and probably high-powered lasers. We understand that people attempting to enter the big space fart are being repelled by a force field if they get too close to the centre, though to get that far you'd have had to stick a peg on your nose and be wearing corrosion-proof everything. There are also rumours of strange ships that appear to be propelled by big blasts of flatulence in the cloud. Whether it's a method of propulsion or the reaction to the noxious gases surrounding them is anyone's guess. But don't get too close, as they appear to react rather violently if you get too near. Universal Cartographics broke out the stencils this week, and pilots will find that systems affected by the unceremonious dumping of Thargoid biowaste into space have a big stylized skull on them. A bit like those bottles you keep under the sink. And a big "do not enter" cross if they think you really should be steering clear. This was just one Stargoid. We suspect that they were the first to stop as they were busting. But with 2 more today and 5 more to come, we're worried that more systems will feel the full force of a Thargoid fart sometime soon, and pilots will be required to stop it spreading. Anyone got a space cork?
In unrelated, but possibly actually related news, minor factions throughout the galaxy awoke yesterday to the news that instead of sitting pretty in charge of their systems, they'd done a full Rumpelstiltskin, pricked their fingers, and fallen asleep for 4 whole days. In those intervening days, system influences across the galaxy have plummeted by an average of 30%, taking leading factions down into single figures and leaving them with the potential of many weeks of back-to-back wars to get back where they started. What's more, local news reports are showing that whilst they've been slumbering, they've entered and exited wars, elections, conflicts, all of which are showing a bit like the UK-USA football as a boring draw. For those of you from the American part of the galaxy, football is played with a round ball and involves falling over a lot and shouting at the referee. You might know it as soccer ball. Anyway, faction influences are all over the shop. More on Hutton's space later in this broadcast, but there is already a lot of finger pointing. Depending on whether you're left or right-handed, it's either pointing firmly at Tharg and suggesting that he's put the kibosh on the most active player group factions in the galaxy by knackering their systems and distracting them from fighting him. The other finger is pointing at the Pilots Federation, who have been accused of black ops and knowing more than they are saying, as they've been secretly inserting rescue factions throughout the bubble at strategic locations, giving him all the influence so that when Tharg's other 7 big green space farts arrive, they can throw a switch and use them to boot out the more truculent of factions. And that means us, yes, under the guise of "it's oil for your own protection." Scientists connected with Canon have attempted to plot the locations of these influence drops scattered as they are throughout the galaxy. But their conclusion? The Pilots Federation say they've got it all in hand. But I say we're doomed. Doomed! Anyway, I'll see you in Colonia.
Too hot, too messy, the Hutton-led initiative to deliver Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagin to every single station in the galaxy has now been going for a whole 17 weeks. That's 4 months, a third of a year, or a bit over 2 dog years. I say Hutton-led, which is, of course, but only a third of commanders taking part are in the Hutton Orbital Trucker Squadron. This week, commanders have collectively passed the 40,000 deliveries mark. Delivery numbers have steadied at around 1,800 over the last couple of weeks, which has been better than of late. But they look a bit down this week as we lost half a day and folks have been doing, well, other stuff. Still, we've upped our deliveries, so up yours too. After all, there's bugger all else going on in the bubble, so load up and get mugging. 2 more commanders joined the effort this week, taking the total to 239 pilots spread across 78 squadrons, and of course, more are always welcome. Naturally, Hutton are blazing away at the head of the squadron leaderboard, delivering a collective tally of 16,600 deliveries. The Winged Hussars are in second with over 2,100 muggies, and the Paladins are still holding third with over 1,400. Honorary mentions this week go to Commander Border Reaver, who oddly is alone in his squadron, the Order of 12, and is in 11th overall in squadron table, and Commander Jintosh, again from a single commander squadron, Guardian's Voice, which is in 7th overall. Both of those are in the mid-500s of deliveries. That guy Chicks is still out in front with over 3,400 muggins and gin delivered. Some say that he's been fettling some 4-inch guns this week. However, he's been chased down by Wallet 81 and Nem, who are still swapping second and third place like a time-lapse game of Pass the Parcel. This week, Nem is slightly ahead in the 2600s, but there's nothing much in it. Infinite Dreamer is 4th on 1380, Commander Mouse 8287 hasn't moved for several weeks in 5th, and LDSK and Poperap in 6th and 7th are the only other commanders that have passed the 1,000 mark. We know all this, of course, because it's tracked by the Oracle that is the Hutton Helper and updated live on the Too Hot Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug.com/hotmess2. Apart from the sheer mug delivering glory alone, there is an additional incentive in the form of a chance to win a real-world handle the right way up, Velcro, magnet and suction-free mods preventing Hutton mug that you could fill with tea, gin or whatever you like as you happily take a Hutton mug to where no Hutton mug has gone before. Any commander that delivers 10 mugs in a week will be entered into that week's draw to win a real Hutton mug. Unless you already have one, of course, in which case you'll already have been immunised against mods. 16 commanders have accomplished this so far, and you can see a little golden mug next to their names in the top commanders table. So keep listening for this week's winner, which will be announced in the banter bit after the news. How do I join in the fun, I hear you ask? First, you need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download, where your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically registered for you by Entarius's abacus-wielding hamsters.
Outside reporter, spokesperson in transit for the Pilots Federation and all-round sparkly pink person, Sally, has been the victim of her own attention to detail in the last few days. A message was received at Hutton HQ from Sal with her own rather plaintive outside broadcast report. Following the events of yesterday, things have naturally been rather heated within the galaxy, assisting commanders and carrying out duties to support from all sides on the monumental update effort. In a hurry to get some clarity and confirmation for our fellow commanders, I decided to stay, to not take the workship, but take Pink Wafer because I was entirely running out of precious time. For the commanders, we went. So I pulled up closely inspect the new guide panel on ship, pushing my face at it and concentrating a little too hard perhaps, to notice that Pink Wafer was screaming. Alas, my concentration was too narrow and poor Pink Wafer buckled under a perilous blast of EMP and later darkness. We lasted about a second and a bit, I'd say. I'm now sat sulking in Purga Base, waiting to hear from the ship dock. So it appears that the guys have their own version of EDSM, and what's more, there are decals and stickers allocated to their pilots. This one, well, I twatted Sally appears to be the closest translation. The rotters. Get well soon, and don't forget, when it comes to the PWAF, we have the technology. We can rebuild her better, stronger, faster, and if that fails, there's always the insurance. We reached out to the Mirrorverse Sally for comments on her also pink and sparkly quantum entanglement like linked twin, but she was far too busy in her midnight black PWAF at a res site challenging the police to a fight and robbing things.
Get-rich-quick schemes are 10 a penny in the galaxy. First there was the seeking weapons, then the Robigo run, then there was the missing decimal point in the void opals. But there is now, as a result of yet another moving point, a new way to make you richer than your wildest dreams. And this one comes courtesy of Vista Genomics. It had been pointed out that for explorers out in deep space, there was very little reward. Yeah, so finding another space loofah, or glow-in-the-dark giant drain cleaner, or even those little pumpkins with suggestive shapes, is quite exciting. But when returning to your carrier or a nearby station netted you a few credits, it wasn't exactly a great way to earn a living. So, Vista looked into their coffers and decided that tromping around a planet's surface until you step on some near-invisible bacteria before scooping it into your Dysonator should earn you enough to run in the expensive carrier you drop it all off in. They decided to boost the payout by a percentage. The problem is that the work experience lad that they gave the calculator to didn't know how to work the percentage button, and instead, for want of a better symbol on the keypad, mashed the big X and multiplied everything. Now, the scrapings from the bottom of your coffee cup are worth hundreds of thousands. The sludge from the U-bend in your kitchen sink will make you an instant millionaire, and, well, if you find a new colour of space loofah that no one has ever seen before, you can probably buy a whole planet. Then, of course, cash it in on the big green crumpet trees growing on the surface. We won't mention what a picture of a big pair of space melons gets. There are specialist websites for those kinds of things and a very discerning audience. Anyway, there are rumours that the Pilots Federation are up in arms about the whole situation and are demanding that Vista Genomics dial things back a notch before they go bankrupt. And with science being needed to solve the current Thargoid incursion, they just can't afford to have Canon Interstellar as the only boffins in the galaxy.
Things were calming down nicely in Hutton space last week. More blue spots were appearing on the situation threat display master control panel, and by midweek, there were no adverse states at all, right across Hutton space. Everything was quiet, all systems were blue, nothing pending, no concerns, no worries. Then last night, fuck! Double fuck! Trip! I'm quickly running out of fucks, you know? Anyway, more on those stories coming up. Identifying the bottom of the heap this week is more a matter of definition than observation. The usual suspect, Barnard Starr, wasn't floundering about in the 30s as usual, but we never thought we'd be looking down the table in single figures. 7.7%, a new low. Then, an hour ago, boink, Barnard Starr's back to 38. Of course, as we've learned earlier in the news, the arrival of the first Stargoid has triggered a brown alert moment in the BGS hamster population, causing half of them to make lemming-like to Beagle Point, half of them to bolt to Colonia, and the other half to hide somewhere that they can improve upon their grasp of fraction. Yes, folks, the systems are a little balked at the moment. It's almost like someone's had a quasi-brain fart, single-handedly come up with some ridiculous plan, crashed the galaxy, then been dragged away from the controls by the folks who wish they'd kept a better eye on them in the first place. This setback has come at a very inconvenient moment for a BGS report, as things are uncertain and will no doubt change. I could, of course, say, we're doomed, all doomed, I tell you, or endlessly speculate, but instead, let's put our faith in St. Dav and let him exercise his influence over the, influence, and see where the cards fall at the next tick. As I speak, order is being returned to the galaxy. Apart from having lousy numbers, there's nothing bad going on in any systems we care about. So sit tight, have a number of fresh flight suits available, and above all, don't panic. Enjoy the ride and appreciate the galaxy has a bit more colour in it. Mostly green. At the overachieving end of the Hutton Systems table, we have only one system above 60% and just above. So thank the BGS gremlins for small mercies. Last week, Hutton won the expansion war into Minge Cut by 2 days to none, so whilst not quite emphatic, a win is a win. Much better than a close shave, and we're in to stay. So get to it, get to know it, and boost the system until Hutton controls it. Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, practice evacuating folks who don't like cooking from stations under attack. If you want to shoot something, dare I say it, brush up on your anti-Xeno skills. Good job that isn't anti-Zuno skills, as you'd be dead meat. Nobody wants that.
And that's it from us in the Mirrorverse. I'm off to boss a combat zone in my favourite ship, the Ferdinand. But you can all step into the big glowing oval in the corner of the studio and get back to the real universe. Say hi to Gluttony Fang for me, he's my hero.
Anyway,
Everything's
No tuning, no music.
No music, no
There you go.
You've woken up.
Denying everyone their theme music.
How very.
The only
how
person
very
who heard
good.
it was the person who is alleged to have played it.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh,
Better
here he
late
goes,
than
trying to
never.
make up
Better
the
late
whole-
than never.
Yeah, better never than late.
well.
So,
Well, that is weird.
How
That's the
seamless
same,
was that?
same button.
who saw the live stream?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some of that. Yeah,
It's hard to believe we're up to 22.
22 in just
22.
44 weeks.
22 bi-weekly, so they're coming up for a year, surely. But they started just before Christmas, so we must have missed a couple at some point.
Yeah,
Because it was just before Christmas last year, I think. I can't remember.
yeah. Well, 22 is 44 weeks, isn't it?
So, what are he's not going to put up a picture, is he?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, he
There's
is.
no
Are you
Yes,
sure?
he is.
There's-
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm
I
good.
can. It's good. He's doing it now.
That
He's
one.
doing it. I can see him doing it.
That one.
Any minute.
He's doing it any minute now.
I want to know why my Anaconda stopped. It stopped at 50%.
Probably because Sean's pressed a button.
Oh, no. I'm gonna fire it up again.
How do I know if I'm getting a Twitch drop?
You can click. You know how there's a wee picture of you in the top right-hand corner?
No.
Oh,
I never use Twitch. I use it purely for Hutton.
You don't have a profile picture.
No. Why would I want a profile picture?
Oh,
I'm never on Twitch.
Right. Well, do you know where your profile picture would be?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, if you maybe click on that, you'll maybe see about halfway down the thing that says drops and rewards.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
I just click on notifications, and then I
Yeah.
right-click on
It
one
says
of the
0%
notifications,
of everything.
and it opens up your inventory.
0% of everything.
I don't seem to have increased at all since I watched the live stream.
I'm not kidding. I've got 0% on
Oh,
everything.
Sean, have you broken
You
this?
busted it, yeah.
It's not up to me. I have no control over this.
You
Did
did
David
say.
I have no control over the rest of it either.
Did David set it up?
So, no, we didn't. We'll sort it out. So for people who were around this afternoon, there was a live stream. It was Arthur and Bruce. Have we got a picture of Arthur and Bruce? Oh, there they are. I took lots of screenshots so I could come up like the tabloid press does with the worst possible photograph of the people I'm photographing. You know, like
Yes.
people eating bacon sandwiches and stuff.
He
like
does.
that.
Bruce does look like he's just sitting there going, ooh.
Well, to me, it was like somebody just let one rip, and the other
Yeah.
one's going, "Was that you? No, I thought it was you."
Looks like Arthur let one rip. That's
It
why
does.
he's got the kind of one eye shut. It's like kind of.
It was the squeaky bum time. Anyway, Yeah, there were
Speaking of squeaky bum time,
there were Twitch drops, the usual purple stuff,
Yeah.
but with it being the start of Advent today, the 1st of December,
the 1st of December.
we've moved into the winter season. 'Cause obviously,
Yes.
Frontier Twitch drops these days are seasonal, so we've done away with all those leafy pythons and asps and stuff
I
like
like
that.
the leaves.
The
I
leaves are
quite
nice.
like them. I think I put one on my python and flew it for a bit, and then I went with Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Now we're going for the snowflake stuff.
Yeah, it's December now. I can put on my.
I mean snowflake, not in a.
Who you calling Snowflake?
Who you calling a snowflake?
You slag, get out my pub. So they are sort of. We got the there you go.
It's Christmassy.
I've taken that one off, and it's the other one.
Snowflake.
Yeah, it's holly, green
Yeah,
holly, isn't it?
is that DBX? That's DBX.
That was the UX, and now
That's a DBX.
there's the crate one coming up.
So, what do we like those? Do we think they're good?
Yeah.
They're all right. They're inoffensive.
like
aren't they?
them.
They're
It's
I
it's
think
a
that's
very
seasonal.
it's a very Christmassy green.
Yes, it is a Christmas
It
Yes.
is.
scene,
And you can only land on ice planets with that. If you if you land on a hot planet, your
It'll
paint
melt.
job will just melt off.
Yes.
Definitely giving the
Snowflakes
season
and melt.
vibes.
Yeah, it's giving seasonal vibes, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
it's like
assuming that tomorrow all the other colours will be out as well.
Possibly. I just see it as a sort of basically a Christmas jumper for your ship.
Yeah.
That's
all
I
right.
mean, aren't they meant to be purple?
Well, the
Did Dave put in the pictures?
They've taken the purple ones out
I-
of the pack this time. That was Quality
No, I
Street
put
did that.
pictures in. So
Yeah, these ones are great. See, that's a green triangle. It treats like pralines.
So, for those of you who read the show promo and were listening to the live stream, I should say and
And or?
are fairly switched on, you will notice that Hutton Orbital is a Frontier partner program. You get Twitch jobs for watching, not on the not.
Yeah,
only
you would
live,
do.
only
You would do.
live.
Yes, you would do.
Should do.
Yes.
You would do if it
are we?
wasn't stuck.
Yes.
No, I think we have a technical issue which we will discuss offline. But so.
Yes.
So yes,
Okay.
and I
So you
think
don't and
no,
how-
I'm saying I think it's not what I've done for once, but I think it is a technical issue with the way that we run the show, which we haven't been able to test until today. Of course, there's been
Yes, of course.
there's been no way of doing it until they announced it in the live stream.
Okay. So
Can
anyway,
I,
for
can
those,
I just say
go on.
that Crate Phantom doesn't have a nice behind.
Does it?
It does have a nice
Look at that!
behind,
Look at
doesn't
that!
it?
It's just a lovely sleek. You got the engines. It's just
Very, very pet, I think, is the word for
Yes.
that one.
very
Yes.
pert.
If you say so.
Has anybody got HR's number to hand? Anyway,
Whoa.
so the Maestro, if you can cue up the next picture, in my best sort of Jim Bowen, is what you could have won. If Twitch drops were indeed working, you could have.
Well, if the
won.
Thargoids hadn't stolen them, they would have been all right. You know,
There
you if you want the
There's
Twitch drops,
There's
the
the
Twitch
purple ones.
No, the Twitch drops are working fine. We've just located them in the middle of the maelstrom. If you just go along there and knock and say Hutton sent you, the Tharg will let you in.
nicely.
Yes.
Look at that Type 9. That is a nice ship.
Isn't it? Isn't it just gorgeous?
Wide load, really
Wide
good.
load, yes.
Definite wide load. So
Look at
again,
the cargo racks.
Just stunning.
in addition to the DBX, none of those ships are flying anymore. Anyway, you could have a nice purple Anaconda. Well, I've got half a purple Anaconda so far because I watched a bit of Psychic earlier on.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's what we'll be dropping throughout 28 days. These purple Twitch programs run for, and we'll see what we get in a month's time because. I'm pretty sure that Frontier's intention is that we carry these on.
Yeah, and it's like
in the
you can
future.
watch like half hour of one streamer and then jump to another streamer and it will still keep the clock ticking and things
That's
like
right.
that. So
So to go on to add to your collection of 57 ancestral tattoo packs and 48 versions of nameplates and stuff, you could have 16 Anaconda purple Christmas paint jobs just by watching Hutton Orbital. So,
Yep.
what else? What else did they have? Well, Sally has been busy organising a competition. And as if, can somebody
Oh, I missed that bit.
somebody stick that in
It's stuck.
in the chat there? If you click on that, there's a seat competition, a gaming
Oh,
chair
yeah.
competition.
Yeah. I
Now,
can see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I have it on good authority that Arthur's sat in this chair, so
Might not want to.
you may not want it. It's on good authority because he said he's hidden it somewhere in the building at Frontier Towers. But that'd be quite nice. I mean, all you have to do, for my very brief nosy earlier, is to do various social media. So you need to join stuff or like stuff or click on stuff or follow stuff. But that's a great prize for somebody.
Yeah,
And of course, you can increase your chances of winning by setting up lots of fake accounts and joining all those things. I didn't say that. I really didn't. So, go on. Do any more to say on competitions and paint jobs and stuff? You're busy looking at Sally's seat.
Go on, put the Type 9 back up. That's just a glorious ship.
Yeah, put some, because we're just going to waffle on basically about. There's been much going on this week. Oh, yes, update 14. Apparently, we are at war. So
What is it good for?
Oh, lots of things.
I am speaking to you from the cabinet room of Hutton Orbital.
You say you're in the cabinet? Yes.
Yeah.
Cabinet of the closet.
It's like MFI cabinet, one screw in the wrong place and it all falls apart. So Tharg has gone all DEFCON 1 on the bubble. Sorry, ignore that next bit because that was my little note to myself that we ought to play that song again at some point. My station's on fire. So we now doubt that the shocks to the BGS are much to do with Tharg. So we're not, we weren't worried. We know where the Hutton towel is. We think, sort of. We know it's a bit smelly and could do with a wash, but at least we know where our towel is. So,
Right.
So no need to panic. So they had two guests on the live stream today. Both designers, both people we've seen before. Tom Kuehl. I mean, it's almost like it could be Tom Cool.
That's a made-up name, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know.
Was he the
Was he the
cool? Was he?
Kuehl? Well, I've delivered more mugs to Kuehl starports around the galaxy. Half the surface stations are named after Frontier staff. You can tell he's been busy with update 14 because he hasn't had time to have a shave. And I don't know what Frontier's heating bill is, but this guy was in shorts.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I was like, oh, but
Bare legs in December.
No, what's going on, you Scottish? So Tom's always good value, but he ended his. I'm not. If you want to know exactly what he said, you need to watch it. But he summed it up basically by saying, if you don't sort out this Thargoid thing, they'll destroy the bubble. It's up to you. And you can run away to Beagle Point if you want, but they'll even find you there. So if you want the galaxy to burn, sit in your hands and do nothing. Anybody planned to run away to Colonia or Hanky, obviously, but these Hankies everywhere.
I don't really see the point. It only buys you a bit of time. It doesn't, doesn't solve it.
No, I know, but it's a big
Get
galaxy.
you.
It's 400 billion star systems. They've got a lot of looking to do.
That's true.
And the other guest was Darian, who we've seen before, and Darian quite kindly explained the sort of cycle of Tharg's very organised and he's very methodical. So we get an alert, okay, and then the first week anything happening, Tharg attacks. So you can run. During that, you can run various missions. You don't have to just do Xeno stuff, anti-Xeno stuff. You can do delivery missions, sort of take in emergency supplies or weapons or meds or whatever the particular system asks for.
I think
And
you were saying
then
that, was saying cargo in, people out.
yes, yeah, basically. So it's not limited just to combat pilots. You know, you can if you're not into shooting the flower people, you can do other roles. And then if you don't beat off Tharg in, oh, that came out wrong, didn't it?
I was just
You keep that to yourself.
Take a breath, yeah.
Hmm.
The only way to solve this is to beat off Tharg.
Yes. if you don't manage to
Distract him.
yes,
Well, that would certainly
distract him by
distract
getting
him, of
stuck
course.
in Tharg's throat. In the next week, the system or the station rather will burn, and then if you still don't fix it, it gets abandoned in the third week, and then that's it. It's just derelict. So you've got a fair amount of time to intervene in this. But I'm not
There must be a way to bring it back from
yes,
abandoned as well.
and Darren said that. He said at any point up to sort of final abandonment, you can intervene, you know, by doing missions. And I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be successful, but obviously the harder you try. So my recommendation was that people have a go at doing various stuff, because when it comes our turn, and I'm sure at some point it will, we'll know what to do, and it'll be.
Well, I did see in the big video it did show an orbital, didn't it? It showed like an outpost.
Yeah,
getting
no station
over.
is safe.
Yeah.
We've been told if you don't win it, they'll win it. So he sort of explained that sort of, you know, they're going to monitor how many people are taking part, sort of how many Thargs we can kill, so they can balance. Because if they crank the lever right up, you know, it doesn't matter how many Thargs you kill, they're going to win. And if you don't crank it, so they need to balance it to make it.
Yeah, they need to keep it challenging. If we kill them all the first week, what's the point?
but not impossible. So
yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was quite a good explanation. It's well, you know, if you've got half an hour of your time to sort of sit down and listen to Tom and Darren, it's and you're interested.
And they're doing interdictions now, aren't they?
Yes.
So while you're travelling to the station to get people out, you might get interdicted.
People are getting harpooned and yarked out of Super Cruise.
Don't fancy that in a Type 9.
No, it's tough in the Type 9, isn't it? Even with grade 5 thrusters.
Yeah.
I'll just cack out some mines and hope for the best.
I might have to do something like that as well. I'll see how I get on.
Because
it is only a tiny hollyhock for the rescue ship to the station usually, so it might be okay. But you need to get to the rescue ship first.
This is true. I haven't actually tried. I've been doing other things, so
I'm the same. But I'm nearly finished with the other things, and I want to give it. I'll probably get in tomorrow and give it a wee go.
Yeah, I might have a bash if I'm not filling holes in my bedroom ceiling.
The neighbours be spying on you again.
Yeah, the boiler needed sorting out.
It's no way to talk about her.
And they did the usual sort of stellar screenshots, you know.
Yeah.
But there were. I've put the link up there. If somebody,
I did see one of somebody standing on a hill, silhouetted by the rings of a planet.
Yeah, I think that was Exorcist, was it? But
it was.
Have a look at that little video. It'll probably run for, I don't know, a minute or so. But there were some crackers in there this week. 2 in particular, and you'll know them when you see them.
Come saying bloody blah.
There's the one you just described. Then there's a vertical version of a similar one, but vertical at the melters.
Oh sure.
Anyway, next time, and note I didn't say next week.
Yes.
There will be a live stream, probably live stream 23, I guess, with lots of prizes. I didn't say what prizes, but prizes.
I'm imagining mainly kind of digital giveaway prizes, that kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, they had. I think in previous years they've had physical stuff as well.
Yeah.
I seem to remember headsets and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but digital stuff's easy to give away, and it gets you straight away, and you don't need to worry about the Christmas post and all that. So, yeah, sometimes the digital stuff's, you know.
But do you really want another paint job, or would you rather have a nice?
Yes, I want more paint jobs. I can never have enough paint jobs. I am a complete sucker for paint jobs.
Yeah, I tend to find
And
I fly
ship
around in the
kits.
same stuff all the time. Anyway,
Especially invent new colours for engines and pips.
I'm wondering if Sean has sort of pillaged his stream deck enough to find the next sound effect.
Oh.
And this week's mug winner is Hans Wiesen.
Yay!
How you pronounce it?
I think it's Scottish. It's Ouijan.
Region.
Well, it's probably Dutch and it's wine.
Like Glaswegian.
From Glasgow, he's a Ouija.
So, congratulations to Hans.
Yay!
And Sam could give details of how you can get one in his own bit higher up. So, get a mug in and you could win one too.
Absolutely. So, I was having a wee think.
Oh, what?
How do you think anteaters build their homes?
I don't know. How do anteaters build their homes?
They study architecture.
God.
Aardvark!
Have you been
But
to Chicks' joke book again?
Yeah. It's hard to read when it's in hieroglyphics. Aardvark!
And now the moment that most of you tune in for. It's the Pilots Federation's officially favourite pilot. It's Flossy with the CG News.
When the universe is in trouble, bug infestations in the bubble, your home station's burned rubble. What on earth can we do when your faction leader's a dog and your daily tasks are a slog? You're feeling like a used cog. What on earth can we do now? Interstellar initiatives. Let Flossy tell you what it is. Then you can get involved with this. You should listen to what Flossy says. Interstellar initiatives. Flossy tells us what she thinks it is. Then you can get involved with this. Now you should listen to what Flossy says. Listen to what Flossy says. What on earth can we do? Do what Flossy tells you to. What if she talks nonsense? Interstellar initiatives. Let Flossy tell you what it is. Then you can get involved with this. You should listen to what Flossy said. Now we heard what Flossy said. We can put this matter to bed. Just keep her voice in your head. Flossy told you what to do.
Hello, Flossy here. I'm almost embarrassed after that great big long introduction, which I actually do love. Because, well, last week there were no CGs, and there were none this week either. But there is a war one, you know. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Thank you, Flossy, for that in-depth investigation and almost surgical exposition of the current situation. No Galnet News Digest this week. It seems that Tharg the Mighty has detained Beetlejude and Witherspoon at his pleasure. But one has to presume not theirs. However, we do still have the apology officer to explain why the galaxy no longer counts as a safe space. What with space not being safe. It's the Hutton Helper results.
Did that guitarist hit a bum note? Have him shot. Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a free set of backup key bindings. This week we have the following events. The It Takes Too Long to Fly Across the Galaxy up. The Why Are There No Space Ponies? I Asked for Space Ponies Tournament of Tournaments tournament. The That Shade of Orange Ruins My Immersion Deja Vu Trophy. The How is it that they don't need a system permit charity shield? And the Completed it mate Talking Bollocks Spectacular. And of course the Watching Disney Plus in the back of the Apex Award. So, Stargoids will be in the shops for Christmas. Never playing Patch Day. Well, start that again. So, Stargoids will be in the shops for Christmas. Never playing Patch Day. And look for the hero inside yourself. The Hutton Helper results are: Tow Truck jumped 35,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. Turkey Mouse sold 81,000 tonnes of cargo. Mind Whippy is top mission runner with 802 mission points. And During the Deathless would be proud of Alex Zuno this week for handing in 777,777,777 credits worth of bounties. Tragic Backstory handed in 261,000 credits of combat bonds, and Quasmere Delafonte delivered 2,373 people to their various destinations. Decals this week for Tow Truck, Tolian, Quasmere. Tolian? Where did Tolian come in? Anyway, Quasmere Delafonte and Getdoy for Own Mind. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of a big new patch for your hull, clean Hutton brand underwear, and an escape route from the bubble to, well, anywhere. There have been 12 Hutton runs in the last 7 days. The top 5 times are Bandicoot with 1 hour, 23 minutes and 52 seconds. Norbert Patternod, 1 hour, 24 minutes and 4 seconds. Retired Navy IT-1, 1 hour, 24 minutes and 8 seconds. Raging Cajun, 1 hour, 24 minutes and 19 seconds. And Jintosh with 1 hour, 24 minutes and 20 seconds. Anyway, there is a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing unfriended, dejected, appointed, manhandled or woman-handled, smeared, deflected, irrigated, emphasised, sniffed, snuffled, postponed, hidden, from, flipped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, chilled, mugged, gin shot, rescued, having their immersion ruined, battered and deep fried, repaired, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, smelled, licked, discombobulated, recombobulated, polished, head-butted, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, strained, fermented, murderized with an S, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, disallowed, reallowed after consulting VAR, smelted, loved, adored, cherished, and probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the spectacular new Hutton Helper, available in 3 exciting formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better, getting what you want and have nothing to get salty about. Anyway, that's it from me for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Thank you, Mia. Time now for us to delve into the Galnet Rares Digest archive. We all pretend that unearthing an old script is because it's an opportunity for those of you who missed it the first time around to hear and see what we did in October 3306. But really, it's just a chance for Amelia to get it right this time. Illustrations are by the incomparable Commander Beetlejuice, drawn before she was carted off by the Thargoids. Sounds painful.
Good evening. This is Amelia Hawke, reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. We try all the galaxy's rarest and most dangerous commodities, so you don't have to. Right, let's see if we can get it right this time. This week, we're heading for something meaty and unusual. Sometimes the galaxy throws us megafauna and flora of truly gigantic proportions, and Irukama is just such a place. The planet of Irukama 1 is a water world in the process of being terraformed. With no native complex life, but orbiting in the Goldilocks zone of the nearby star, it was a perfect candidate for seeding with life. The terraforming team, once they had built atmospheric processors to make it habitable for human life, seeded it with hardy species of plants and animals, and through the wonders of technology, rapidly accelerated the process of evolution. This, as so often happens, has led to a number of unintended consequences. The manipulation has now ended, but the creatures roaming the plains and forests of the islands on this world are anything but normal. Decontamination processes for the deployment of creatures managed to miss a pair of common or garden snails. The giant Irukama snail that now roams the planet has evolved well beyond its genetic ancestors. With species now occupying both the land and seas, it has taken on the role of dominant herbivore. Now, by giant, we mean this mollusk is big, like really big. Full-grown adult snails are the size of 2 large bull hippos, sporting shells that make even the biggest garden shed look like a small cupboard. Their voracious appetite makes them eat forest after forest, stripping trees to their heartwood within minutes and devouring whole groves in under an hour. The crunching and munching as they make their way through a wood is a terrifying noise, and the sight of one chowing down on a willow tree, like you or I would hoover up a plate of spaghetti, is one that will stay with me for a long time. As with many herbivores, the giant snail has, or should I say had, a natural predator. Packs of Irukama timber wolves developed a taste for their flesh, and have developed cunning skills in tipping and eating their prey. In the seas, the wolves of the sea, giant megamouth sharks eat them whole, crunching shell and all. Whilst in the seas, the numbers are kept in check by predators, and the snails live in small kelp forests close to land. On land, their appetite has all but destroyed the natural habitat for the wolves, leaving them without a natural predator. Humanity has filled that gap, managing the numbers, and as usual discovering that the giant snail is a delicacy. I mean, not very delicate, but a delicacy nonetheless. Freshly caught and cooked in giant vats with butter and enough garlic to keep vampires away in a 5 light-year radius, they're carved into huge snail steaks. Before cooking, they're heavily salted and their natural juices are removed. They're sticky and icky and unpleasant to see or smell, but once cured and then cooked, they're a protein-rich and surprisingly tender meal. Rare, with the natural habitat having been munched into oblivion, only managed herds of giant snails remain. The shells are much prized as survival shelters. What about the danger? Well, these snails are large. I mean, almost impossibly large, and they're fast. A full-grown adult is capable of a sustained slither of over 30 miles an hour, and their jaws, whilst normally used for chowing down on an oak tree, are more than capable of turning a human into mushed-up baby food in a couple of bites. You also don't want to get any of their natural slime on your skin. It's mildly acidic, which helps them digest their food, but it will leave you with caustic burns. But prepared, cooked and lathered in warm garlic butter or sautéed in cognac, these snails are a treat, one that you must try. I'm Amelia Hawke, and I'm ready for Halloween for the next few decades, due to the amount of garlic I've eaten with my escargot. No one will be taking a bite out of this reporter on a dark autumn night. This was the Galnet Food Digest. We tell tales of giant snails, so you know you have to try one. We've heard rumours of the Urukama snail yard and are off to see if the tales of hectares of ancient shells glittering in the sun are true. We won't mention the giant winkles because they just make me snigger.
Oh, all right, we'll give you that one.
I did a mistake. I did a mistake. Did you notice it?
I know, and I noticed you hesitate over shells when you thought you said snails for a second, then you realised it didn't, so you said shells afterwards. No, that's seamless as far as I'm concerned. Compared to me, it's entirely seamless.
Well, I did do an oopsie. I did do an oopsie there, but did you or anyone in the Twitch chat spot it? I guess not.
Well, you know, if we killed it now, it would be 30 seconds before the Twitch drops.
Well, see, this is why I'm asking questions.
No, the Twitch.
There
Have been conversations going on in the background with Frontier about this, so they are looking into it at this as we speak. So I'm afraid there won't be any Twitch drops for today, but that just means you have to come back next week.
Oh, what a pity!
Lucky you.
No, not me, obviously, because I've obviously bollocks this up, so I won't get invited back again.
Won't be invited back at all.
Yes. I'm 5 months away from it. Yeah, you do get a bit rusty. Yeah, and I found out where the music was hiding.
You've only been practicing for a week.
I haven't been practicing for a week. I've been starting to get ready and test stuff, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't practiced enough. Never mind. I shall edit it frame by frame. Edit it frame by frame. It's nice to be back for an occasional.
I can hear the chuckling coming from a Las Vegas hotel room.
Well, no,
he's on the East Coast somewhere.
Well, not yet. It's not. It's currently about 30, 40 minutes away from me at his mother's.
No, not David. I was thinking of Lithobreaker.
Oh, him. Oh, yes. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
You're half of your replacement.
Yes.
Thing is, if we didn't have seams, it wouldn't be Hutton.
Exactly.
Quite. We'd have nothing to aim for, and neither would the snipers. Right.
Yes. It's a new low.
Thank you.
We aim to please.
There is no tone I cannot lower.
Yes.
Oh, Banter just said something leap in his mouth. Apparently. So he said in the chat.
Saltimbocca?
Italian for jump in mouth.
Okay, then.
So he's off to mix it up with the stars tomorrow.
Yes. So Vantia and Paul from HCS are off to LA tomorrow to talk to Captain Kirk himself, the original one, of course, and Data, and Wesley's mother,
Beverly Crusher.
Yes,
it'll be frowned upon if I did the Shatner wig joke 3 weeks in a row.
It would be, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're going to do it anyway, though, aren't you?
No.
Dyson, go on, you know you want to.
No,
go on, treat yourself. It's lovely.
It's fine. I'm working on some belters.
Get it in at the end of the show.
Were they holding up your trousers?
Funny you say that.
No, it's funnier than anything you're saying. Yes. What?
I was sitting here the other day and I sort of felt like a coldness on the back of my leg. I thought, what's going on? So I sort of reached down and touched the back of my leg. So there's an enormous hole in my trousers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how the hell did I do that? So anyway, I stitched them back up. So it's not the only place that has seams. Anyway, they're fine now.
Well, I feel much relieved on that.
You get in the shower and you notice a couple of bruises. You think, "Oh, where did that? I have no idea how I did that." But having a having a massive hole in the back of your strides is unnerving.
If there wasn't any sound as you bent over, certainly.
Oh,
I'm so glad you share these things with us.
Yes.
They were like ripped out. It wasn't like they'd split from, but they were just, I don't know.
Hang on,
dumped off something.
I'm sure I've seen this. I'm sure I've heard this conversation before. Oh yeah, there it is in the dictionary under desperate.
We've only got 27 more minutes to spin it out for the T9.
It's not gonna happen. I told you it's not gonna happen. We should let the people go, and then they can come back more refreshed next week with different kinds of themes. There won't be any fewer themes. There'll just be different themes.
Yes.
Different.
Mostly.
Yes.
Sometimes.
They mostly
Maybe.
come back on a Thursday, mostly.
All right. Well, hopefully the last button here still works. I've been through and I did test that and it worked before. So I think thanks everybody for bearing with us through the mistakes, some of which you won't know about because I'm going to delete them before I upload it. My biggest one, yeah, certainly. And thanks everybody. It's been nice to be back, and it has been fun being back with the team, most of the team, even for only a very short.
But that is a short one, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
And yes, it is. It's not a record, but yes.
So just say goodnight. Press the button.
Oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing I got to say.
There's one more thing.
Amelia.
Yeah.
Have you got the awooga?
Oh no, I've taken the awooga out. Oh, hang on.
Oh. There we go.
For the mug!
Mug.
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T9s to the brim with grain. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Give me a launch pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. No part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hutton, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?
Seamless.